Alright, so here we are. We are at Monday, week 4, December 1997, the last episode of the 97 year. Uh, I'm going to do a calendar year review after this episode, and when we find out who's like the best wrestler and all that stuff, the PWI top 500. So, this Raw, if you remember last Raw, was a memorial to Billy Gunn. So here, this Raw is back to the storylines. Here, Stone Cold comes out and announces he will be in the Royal Rumble match. He says he's gonna win it and go to WrestleMania and win the main event. Psycho Sid comes down in the ring, says that he will be in Rumble as well. Psycho Sid returns here. He challenges Stone Cold to a match, and they agree, setting up the main event for tonight. From there, we go into Kane in a squash match versus Too Cool. He defeats both of them. If you remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, he attacked them both, so here they get a match. After the match, Kane continues just beating them down until Rikishi comes out, and the thing is, Kane does a thing where he gets out of the ring. Rikishi stands tall. It's not to make Kane look weak, but to make, set up a match for next week and set up the Royal Rumble. It just gives Kane from his feud of Mankind to the Rumble. Following that, Eddie Guerrero and Triple H trade words in the ring. Just typical bullshit on how who's the better man, who should have been a champ, this and that and other. From there, we go to Mark Marrow and Mike Barton versus APA, and here Marrow and Barton win. If you see, there's a new picture of Mike Barton. I didn't like the old one too much, but I don't know if I like this one, so I might switch it back. I want to get away from the cowboy look and stuff. They pick up the win over to APA after Billy Kidman, who APA beat the shit out of 2 weeks ago, distracts APA, and it gives Mark Marrow the win here. Following the match, the Road Warriors challenge Marrow and Barton. Because Marrow and Barton beat him last week, they said, like, you guys beat us in tag match, so how about we fight this time for the titles, fighting champs, and we'll beat anyone who comes our way. Marrow and Barton accept, of course. Here, Rikishi bursts into Vince McMahon's office and demands a match with Kane next week. Vince, of course, accepts and says, alright, fine. And then that sets up for a match next week, which is going to be, tonight was Kane's first Raw match, I believe, and his third match in general. So him versus Rikishi next week. Here, Ahmed Johnson calls out The Rock and says he wants a match with The Rock right now. The Rock and the Nation beat up Ahmed a couple weeks ago, kicked him out. The Rock doesn't respond, but out comes D'Lo. D'Lo, gets some microphone time, says you can't have a match with The Rock tonight, but you can have a match with me, and I'll kick your ass. Ahmed Johnson accepts it. They have a match. Ahmed wins here at Pearl River Plunge, and then after the match, Rock comes out and just beats up Ahmed Johnson. So you could have them accept next week, like they'll agree to a match, or you could have the announcers here. This is like The Rock accepting, or you could say The Rock attacks Ahmed Johnson, beats him up, stands over him, and he says he accepts the challenge. Now, I don't know if I want to do that, because I kind of want to push this another week, or I can have it set up next week, The Rock accept the challenge. You can have the announcers infer this is The Rock accept the challenge. Next week, he says it in a promo, sets up a match, maybe a tag match, or Ahmed versus, Kama. From there, we get Ken Shamrock calling out X-Pac challenges in the match. X-Pac doesn't respond. Shamrock is left unanswered. Ken just leaves the ring, says fuck it. Excuse my language. X-Pac runs in, cheap shots him, and then accepts it. So, sets up the Royal Rumble match. Because, if you remember, before Owen Hart returned, X-Pac cost Ken Shamrock the match. And then, he attacked Ken Shamrock, and then Owen returned and got caught beating up Shawn. So, that was a DQ. And then Ultimate Warrior here comes and has a match versus Matt Bloom. Still finding a role for Matt Bloom. The whole bodyguard gimmick with Val Venus didn't work out as good as I intended. So So I gotta find a new role for him. He has really good brawling abilities. I'll show you after this, actually. Show you what I think of his abilities and stuff. He's just room for here. And here the announcers talk about how Warrior is a top contender in Royal Rumble. Excuse me. Owen Hart and Shawn Michaels has a contract signing. They sign it. Security swarms the ring. No physical contact. Vince is the host. They sign it, and no physical confrontation here. Looking forward to it. And then the main event, and a pretty good match. One of Psycho Sid's better matches. Stone Cold beat Psycho Sid by pinfall at Stunner. And, this sets up Royal Rumble match. Have Stone Cold win. Excuse me if the breathing, I don't know if you hear it or not. But, you have Stone Cold win. Announcers are like, wow, Stone Cold, probably top contender. He's an Intercontinental champ now. Possible contender to win it all. 81 rating. I don't know why it's not higher because the 88 main event. But it is what it is. It's probably because the semi-main event was low. I don't know. I figured it'd get a decent rating. So let's see how we compare it to WCW. The last score was F 18, WCW 14. We are up. Shit. WCW gets the win here. They beat me pretty solidly. DDP versus Carl Ouellet, which I think was one of the Quebecers. Desperate Measures. Should have used that tag. I still need a tag name for Marilyn Barton. Unless I keep with Marilyn Barton. So let's look at Matt Bloom. That picture, I don't like it. So here's Matt Bloom. 77 brawling, I like that. The thing is, I was hoping the parent, maybe I can get him a tag team to improve upon this stuff, because it needs work. Because if he gets this stuff good with his brawling ability, he can be a very top guy. Give him a manager, Actually, I think there's something I can do with him down the line, but that's probably 3 WrestleManias from now. He's only 23 years old, so plenty of room to grow. That's going to be it for this episode. WWF 18, WCW 15. They hadn't have Starrcade yet. I'll talk about that next week. Next episode, which is going to be a review. You're going to find out top 10 and the 500. We're going to give all the awards. We're going to do a review of the past year. And then that's just going to be an episode itself. No Raw in the next episode. But we're just going to look back because this is a whole calendar year of the new mod since my computer crashed. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.